Oops. What do you think you should be doing first thing in the morning when you wake up? Well, here's the other question. When you open your eyes, when you open your mind, where does your mind go to? What's the first thought you have first thing in the morning? What are you thinking about? Here's a question. What do you think is more important first thing in the morning? A period of silence or a period of technology stimulation? When I wake up, I go to the bathroom, get a coffee, and sit on my deck for 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes more, in silence. I just let my thoughts flow like that creek there. Have you ever walked the creek? You know, you're walking along, the water's flowing, and then you get to a spot where the water is still. Like in the middle of the creek, there's a pond. Water flows in, water flows out. That's my mind when I sit in silence first thing in the morning. Still. It gets still. Ha! The age-old question is, how do I shut off my mind? And the age-old answer is, you can't. You can't. But where your focus goes, that's where your energy flows. So what are you focusing on first thing in the morning when you open your eyes? The brain processes 400 billion bits of information a second. It's the most sophisticated computer on the planet. your brain. It processes 400 billion bits of information a second. However, quantum mechanics, quantum physics tells us we only process about 2,000 bits of that information a second. So when you open your eyes, your mind starts processing 400 billion bits of information a second, and you start to realize, recognize, you're aware of 2,000 bits of information a second. Where does your focus go? You know what happens to your brain when you turn on the TV first thing in the morning? You know what happens to your brain when you go on social media and start scrolling through the feeds? You know what happens to your brain when you wake up in the morning and start playing video games? You know what happens to your brain when you get up in the morning and your first thought is about watching pornography? The brain wasn't designed to process all that technology and electronic activity. It's a stimulation. In fact, first thing in the morning, you're overstimulating your mind with those devices and what you watch and what you're listening to. I sit on my deck, and when my thoughts slow down, I start to collect my thoughts, is what I call it. And how I do that is I ask myself 4 questions. Let's recap. I get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, grab a coffee, go outside on my deck and sit for 5 to 10 minutes or more. When my mind stills down, when it gets calm, I collect my thoughts, and I do that by asking myself 4 questions. What do I need to do today? What should I do today? What do I have to do today? What's most important? I'm not stimulating my mind and overstimulating my mind with all those devices and electric technology like I mentioned before. I'm creating my day. At that point, I have my mind's full attention. At that point, I have my mind's full attention. It's not sporadic. It's not going all over the place. It's not being stimulated by external mechanisms.